jumpstart your business. You know, this past weekend, I was at a network marketing event and I talked to so many different people. And this was actually one of the really common themes. You know, a couple of different things will happen is someone gets in, they get going, they hit a rank, and then the people in their team quit, right? They kind of start falling off and their volume drops. What happens next? What do we do now? Or another thing that sometimes happens is somebody will get in and they'll get going and they'll hit that rank super fast. Everybody's coming in with a big pack, a big pack, a big pack, a big pack. And next month, when they look at that auto ship volume, they're like, hey, I know I got to 12,000 last month, but why am I at like $2,000 this month, right? So we're going to talk about those type of things. And specifically, one of the things we want to lead off with is the 4 main reasons that perhaps the team is not growing right now. So now I have a question for you guys. So I want a little participation here. Maybe you can help me out. Do you know somebody that maybe fits this scenario? May not be you, it may be you, it may not. But do you know somebody who got in, got rolling, hit a rank, and then their volume isn't where they were hoping it would be? Because this was something that I was hearing over and over again. So let's talk about the 4 main reasons that the team may not be growing. I hope you're ready. Buckle your seatbelt in and let's get going. So the first one is that oftentimes people try to revive the dead. They're like, okay, I'm gonna do some CPR, a little bit of mouth to mouth, right? And they try to revive the dead. They try to talk to people that maybe they were doing the business 6 months ago, or maybe they were doing the business a year ago, but they're not really interested they're not interested in doing it anymore. And so one of the things that's important for you as the leader of your team is to realize there's a couple different phases in the business. You know, obviously someone can come in and they can get going, but if they decide that, you know, time is an issue or timing is not great in their life, they kind of demote themselves to a product user. They become more of a customer or a client instead of a fellow business builder. And oftentimes we think, or people think that, you know, if they just tell them about the most recent promotion, or they try and do something to try and get them back into the business building phase. And while that may work sometimes, oftentimes it's easier to go, you know, share with somebody new than to try and revive, you know, somebody that's completely gone, right? They're using the product, but they're not at the point in their life where they're wanting to build the business. So that is one of the first reasons. What's the next one? Well, focusing too much on the product. You know, oftentimes we get involved in our company and we love our products, right? So oftentimes we love the product, right? We get so focused and dialed in on the product that we forget the key thing that causes duplication. What causes duplication, guys? Tell me. Personally sponsoring, right? Personally sponsoring is the key thing that causes duplication. And so if we are always talking product, and then we wonder why we don't have business partners joining our team, that could be why. So we want to focus on, if we want to grow, if we want to duplicate, talk business if you want business. Talk product if you want product. If your goal is like, hey, I just want to build up my residual, I'm all about going wide with customers, talk product for sure. But if your goal at this point in your life is like, hey, I really want to create that duplication in my business, so it can be, you know, 1 that turns into 10, that turns into 100, that turns into 1,000, then that only happens by talking business. So, you know, it's interesting because at this summit I was at this past weekend, you know, so many of the 6 and 7 figure earners, they talked about, what do they lead with, product or business? And it was the business. So just note to self, you know, don't focus so much on the product that we forget about the business, and then don't get any business builders that end up joining up with you. That was number 2. Number 3, this is a big one, and it's one of my personal pet peeves. When we go through all this work and we don't launch people properly. Now, you may be at a spot in your life or in your business where it may be you and 2-3 other people. You might have a dozen people, you might have 50 people. But at some point, if people are talking, people are going to be joining the team. And so you as the leader of your team, no matter where they are, no matter what level they are on, make a point to reach down and connect with those people because you know what you're doing and they don't. And so by you reaching out and connecting up and saying, hey, listen, so excited you got started. What do you see in this for yourself? Kind of see what they want and say, hey, you know what? Love to help you get in and out of the gates fast. Let's get together. Let's set up a game plan for your goals and what you want to accomplish. And that way you know what to do going forward from here. And you know what? They will love you for that. If you have found maybe for yourself that sometimes we launch people and sometimes we don't, maybe that's one of the things that you've seen happen in your business. Because I think that's one of the big things. And oftentimes leaders, they feel that, oh, I didn't personally sponsor them, so I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be talking to these people. No. You are the leader of the team. You know way more than the person that probably bought them in. And so we definitely want to connect on up. So last one is number 4, and that is production. One of the time, sometimes when people look at their calendar, the calendar kind of tells all, right? The calendar will tell us, hey, are things going awesome and we're putting some numbers on the board, or maybe not so much. And so the fourth and final thing that often does happen is that people don't do enough of the things that move the needle, right? They don't get out there. They don't talk enough. They're like, oh yeah, I talked to, 3 people. I'm like, oh, great. Over what period of time? Oh, over the last month. Now, let me ask you guys, if we're talking to 3 people over a month, can we really expect growth in our team? Yes or no? You tell me. And, we know deep down in our hearts that if we really want to knock this thing out of the park, that it's important to put some numbers on the board. So putting the numbers on the board is one of the essential things that will help you grow. So we talked through the 4 main reasons why many people's team doesn't grow. And let's talk about the plan to revamp your business. So revamping the business is actually very, very similar to when you first get started, except now you know a little bit more and you have experience and you probably have some people in your team or at least people that maybe are using your product. So let us talk about this. The first thing that we want to do is we want to go back to the basics. Oftentimes tactics will change, right? Like how we do what we do, that comes and goes. Those are tactics. But principles remain the same, right? We know about, the principle of gravity. If we have this eraser and we drop it, well, it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall every single time. So those are the principles, and we're gonna talk principles tonight, and we're gonna get a little bit into tactics. So the first thing is we wanna revamp the list. Revamp. And you might be saying, oh my goodness, I don't have people to talk to, or I feel like I've talked to all my people. If you have been doing your business for any length of time, I'm gonna share with you a couple of things. Number 1, there's way more people than you probably even had on your list to begin with. And number 2, if you haven't talked to that person in the last 3 months or the last 6 months, or it's been a while, it's okay to touch base with them. Now, one of the things that a lot of people think is they're like, oh my goodness, if I put it on my list, then I have to talk to them. No. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make our list. We're gonna go through our phone, we're gonna go through our Facebook, we're gonna go through our email, we're gonna go through anything that has a connection that we might know, right? We're gonna put it all on paper. Then we are going to cherry pick. And cherry picking is so essential because you can just say, hey, you know what? Who do I feel like talking to right now about my business? Or who do I think timing might be right for? If you have 100 or 200 people down on paper and you pick the top 20 or 30, you're gonna feel really good because you have a lot of people to talk to. And you're just gonna start going through and connecting with the people that are on there. Does that make sense? Second thing is we're gonna cherry pick the people on the list. The third thing is we are gonna expose what we have. Now, this is one of those things where tactics are up to you, right? We can do a one-on-one. We can have a house party. We can share the plan on Zoom. We can connect with them on social media, right? And on social media, we can send them a video. I mean, there's so many different ways that we can expose what we have, But the more that you're getting the word out about what you do, the more that you're exposing what it is, your product, your opportunity, the thing that people need to be attracted to, then the more people can say yes, right? If we don't ask, we can't get any yeses. So we have to have massive exposure, okay? Number 4 is we want to follow up. You know, some of the people you're gonna talk to, they're not gonna sign up on the spot. Ever happened to you? If you're doing the business, it's happened, right? Some of the people you're gonna talk to, they're not gonna sign up on the spot. So it's really important that we have some kind of a follow-up system. Now, here's the big mistake that so many people make when it comes to follow-up. They expose for the first time. So they might, you know, place product with them. They might show them the plan on the video. They might meet up for a one-on-one. They might invite them to a home party. Doesn't matter. They had the first exposure. Then the person goes off into the sunset. They don't sign up, right? They're like, okay, think about it. I hope everything goes well, right? No, before that person leaves, before you finish that interaction, that connection with that person, you want to have the next thing set up, or at least you want to drop a hint for it. Like if you place some product with someone and you give them 3 days worth of product, you're going to say, hey, today is Monday. Okay, why don't we touch base on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday? You decide. Why don't we touch base in a couple of days? You should have had a chance to try it. I want you to be looking for the type of results you're going to be seeing. Here's what you can expect, right? You want to have the next touch point at some point in the near future. So you're talking about it before you ever, disconnect from that first exposure. That is really, really important, because what happens oftentimes is people will show the plan, they'll show what they have, and then the person goes away, and then they feel funny about following up. They feel funny about following up. They feel like they're bugging the person. They feel like they don't know what to say. They feel like they're not sure exactly how this whole thing should go down. So how do you avoid that? We avoid that by having the next get together, the next touch point, the next time that we're going to connect with them in place before you ever part ways. That's going to make a huge difference. Now, here's something else, a little sales tip, right? So this isn't a network marketing stat, it's just a sales stat. They say that on average, we need to share what we have. Your prospect needs to see it 5 or 6 times. So if we know that we're going to have 5 exposures or 6 touch points, right? We're going to be connecting with them multiple times. Then what we want to do is not spread those 5 or 6 connections over 3 months. No, because the longer we wait, it's almost like we're hitting the restart button, right? What we want to do is we want to take those exposures and scrunch them into a week, 2-week period of time. So we get some product. Oh, great. Let's touch base on Thursday so that we can see how they're doing it. Oh, you love it. Awesome. Great. Let's get together. Let me share with you more how you can get it. Perfect. Then from there, maybe a 3-way call. Then from there, maybe there's an area event or something going on. Do you see, the closer that you can get your follow-up together, the more odds that they're going to say yes, and you're going to build that closing momentum so that they can get started. So you want to do rapid fire follow-up. That is number 4. And the last one is basically to enroll and engage your prospect. So we want to get them started, and we want to do what we talked about in the beginning, is to launch those new people. What does that launch look like? Because oftentimes people are not really sure. They're like, I'm just getting started. How do I launch somebody? Exactly what we talked about. You're going to help them make their list. You're going to help them cherry pick the good people, contact the people on the list, share what they have, follow up process, and then get those people started, get them in and out of the gates quickly. So those are the notes for you. If you're at a spot in your life right now where you've been stuck at a rank for a little while and you're ready to jumpstart your business, you're like, all right, reset button, line in the sand, let's go, right? This is what you need to do. We need to watch out for those 4 things that we talked about that are problem areas, and we need to get into this plan that we just went over. Now, in addition to that, if you like all this and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I have one additional resource that will help you. And it's actually all about rank advancing. So since this is the subject we're talking about, here's how you can get it. You can click on the link that's listed here in the description. It's going to take you to another spot. Enter your email and it will give you access to this special bonus training. So I highly recommend it. I've had so many people that have gotten great success on it. And so that is it, guys. I hope this has been good for you. If this is something that added some value to your life, feel free to share. Feel free to pass it along to the people in your team, or you can tag them in the comment section. So that's it, guys. I gotta run. Take care. Be blessed. And I will see you all next time.
For more great training and to receive your free bonus training, the 10-step process for getting out of your own way and finally rank advancing, visit summergeronimo.com.